Have you ever wondered why, as you get older, you start to feel less inclined to be around people? As we age, socializing can start to feel more draining than invigorating. But it's not about loneliness, it's about something deeper, a natural shift that many older adults experience. In this video, we'll explore 5 powerful reasons why you may not enjoy being around people as much as you once did. Stick with us until the end, because understanding these reasons will help you embrace this phase of life with grace and without guilt. Plus, you'll gain insights into how to preserve your energy and focus on what truly matters. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. 1. Energy is precious and you've learned to guard it. As the years pass, you begin to understand that both physical and emotional energy are not infinite. In your younger days, it was easy to move through life at breakneck speed, flitting from one event to the next, managing a whirlwind of relationships, and juggling countless obligations. You may have been able to push through the fatigue with an extra cup of coffee or a brief rest, but the price of expending your energy didn't always seem significant. However, as you've grown older, every moment, every decision, and every drop of effort feels more precious. You've learned to safeguard your energy with a wisdom born of experience. Socializing, once a source of excitement and joy, has begun to feel more like a significant investment. Every interaction demands something from you. Your attention, your empathy, your energy to adapt to shifting dynamics and personalities. It's not that you dislike people or avoid connection. On the contrary, you recognize the importance of companionship. But the effort involved in navigating these social exchanges has become heavier over time, and you now find yourself weighing the value of each interaction more carefully. With years of experience under your belt, you can more easily discern which conversations enrich you and which leave you feeling drained. This insight has led you to prioritize peace over the relentless drive to be social. Think about the mental exhaustion of attending a loud family reunion, where you're expected to engage with relatives you haven't seen in ages, keep pace with rapid conversations, and maintain a facade of excitement even as your inner world craves silence. Or perhaps you've experienced the superficial small talk at a community event or social club, where the discussions stay on the surface, leaving you longing for something deeper, something that truly touches the soul. These scenarios, which once may have fueled your energy, now feel more taxing, as if they are depleting the reserves you'd rather save for things that matter more to you. This shift, however, is not merely a result of aging or physical limitations. It is a reflection of wisdom gained through experience. You've come to understand that not all interactions are equal and that not every invitation or social gathering deserves your presence. Over the years, you've realized that the world often places a premium on extroversion, activity, and busyness, equating these things with productivity and happiness. But as you've matured, you've discovered that true happiness and a sense of purpose often reside in quieter spaces, in meaningful one-on-one conversations, moments of solitary reflection, or simply enjoying the comfort of your own company. This understanding isn't about rejecting others or turning your back on relationships. Rather, it's about embracing yourself fully and honoring your need for solitude. Solitude has evolved from something that might once have felt lonely into a sanctuary, a place where you can hear your thoughts clearly, without the constant barrage of external noise. It is here that you can reflect on your life's journey, appreciate the lessons you've learned, and dream without interruption. It is not loneliness you seek, but liberation, a return to your authentic self. You are no longer driven by the need for approval from others or seeking validation from the outside world. Instead, you listen to the quiet voice within, allowing it to guide you toward what truly matters. This transformation can be misunderstood, of course. Friends, family, or even acquaintances might wonder why you're not as socially active as you once were. They may question why you opt to leave gatherings early or decline invitations altogether. Some may worry that your withdrawal signals sadness or emotional isolation. But only you understand the true reason behind your actions. Your decision to step back isn't about avoiding people. It's about conserving your essence. It's about making room for the things that bring you peace, joy, and a sense of true fulfillment. There is a quiet power in this realization, a power that comes from choosing to honor your own needs over societal pressures. It's about recognizing the importance of boundaries and respecting them without apology. This isn't an act of selfishness. Rather, it is an act of self-care in its most genuine form. By protecting your energy, you are not just safeguarding your physical and emotional health. You are ensuring that the time you spend with others is meaningful, enriching, and fulfilling. Looking back on your life, you likely see patterns and lessons that have led you to this point. You've learned that relationships are like gardens, requiring care, attention, and nourishment to thrive, but that can easily become overrun with weeds if neglected. You've discovered that when you give too much of yourself to people or situations that drain you, it leaves you depleted, while investing in the right relationships brings immense joy and satisfaction. Perhaps most importantly, you've come to realize that your energy, like your time, is finite. Choosing to spend it wisely is an act of deep respect for yourself. So, when you find yourself retreating from the noise of the world, remember this. It's not about avoiding people or isolating yourself from the world. It's about choosing peace and recognizing the inherent value of your energy. It's about using it to craft a life that feels authentic to who you are. In a culture that often celebrates constant motion and busyness, making this choice is nothing short of revolutionary. 2. You've been burned before, and you're wiser now. As the years pass, your life becomes a rich tapestry woven with both moments of joy and episodes of pain. Among the most poignant threads in this intricate design are those woven from trust given, and trust shattered. By the time you've reached your later years, the sting of betrayal and the sorrow of unmet expectations are familiar companions. You've known the heartache of realizing that not everyone values relationships as deeply as you do, and these experiences leave a mark, not a festering wound, but a quiet, enduring reminder that trust is one of life's most precious commodities, and it must be earned. In your younger years, trust may have come easily, even instinctively. You offered your heart without hesitation, your time and energy freely, believing in the goodness of others. You entered relationships with an open spirit, ready to give, ready to love, ready to trust. But life, in its often unpredictable and challenging way, taught you hard lessons. A friend who abandoned you when you needed them most. A family member who broke your confidence. A partner who shattered promises you believed were unshakable. These are the moments that stay with you. Not as raw wounds, but as a form of wisdom, hard-earned and transformative. They shape the way you navigate relationships moving forward, making you more discerning about who you allow into your inner world. This discernment isn't about bitterness, nor is it the coldness of cynicism. It's a matter of self-preservation. When you've been burned, you learn to tread more carefully. You listen intently, not only to what people say but to what they do. Actions, you've discovered, are far louder than words, and you've become skilled at reading between the lines, noticing inconsistencies, subtle cues, and unspoken truths that may have once slipped under your radar. You no longer rush into connections or pour your energy into relationships that feel unbalanced or one-sided. Instead, you wait patiently, observing, and assessing. You reserve your trust for those rare individuals who prove themselves worthy, and who show consistency in their actions and words over time. There is a quiet strength in this restraint, though it may sometimes feel isolating. Society often extols openness and vulnerability as virtues of good people, yet you've learned that not everyone deserves access to your heart. Vulnerability, when mishandled, can be seen by some as a weakness to be exploited, and you've made a conscious decision to protect yourself from those who might misuse your trust. This does not mean you've closed yourself off entirely. It means you've raised your standards and set boundaries. Boundaries not as walls to shut others out, but as gates that only the deserving may pass through. Of course, this caution is not always understood by others. Some may interpret your restraint as aloofness, as emotional distance, misunderstanding your reluctance to engage as a lack of care. They cannot see the layers that lie beneath your exterior. The years of experience, the painful lessons that have shaped you, and the history that informs the way you navigate human connection. They don't know the effort it takes to open up after having been hurt. They cannot comprehend the courage it requires to trust again when your past whispers to you that it's safer to stay closed off, to avoid the risk of vulnerability. But still, despite all that has come before, you haven't abandoned the idea of meaningful connections. Deep inside, there is a part of you that still longs for the warmth of authentic understanding, that yearns for the kind of closeness that can only come from shared experiences and mutual trust. Yet this longing is tempered by the hard-earned awareness that not everyone has your best interests at heart. So, you take your time. You watch. You listen. You wait. you know that trust can't be rushed. It must be nurtured, built slowly and deliberately, through consistent actions that align with words, through the careful accumulation of shared moments that form the foundation of something real. Rebuilding trust after it has been shattered is one of life's most difficult and delicate endeavors. It requires vulnerability and courage, qualities that grow more precious with age. Yet, when you do find those rare individuals who earn your trust over time, who meet your boundaries with respect and your openness with care, the rewards are immeasurable. These relationships are the ones that remind you why it's worth taking the risk, and why it's worth opening your heart, even if it's done with great caution. These connections heal the wounds of the past, and in their healing, you are reminded of the beauty of human connection. Deep, meaningful, and genuine. And so, you carry the wisdom of your years like a shield, not a barrier. You've been burned before, but that doesn't mean you're bitter. It means you are wiser. It means you understand the value of trust and the importance of giving it only to those who have truly earned it. This is not a sign of weakness. It is a testament to your resilience. You have walked through fire, and while it left its mark, it also forged you into someone stronger, someone more discerning, someone who knows exactly what they deserve in relationships. Let others rush headlong into connections if they choose. You have earned the right to take your time, to protect your peace, and to trust only those who prove themselves worthy of it. In a world that often demands openness at any cost, choosing to be cautious, to guard your heart, is an act of profound self-respect. It is a way of saying, I value myself enough to wait for what is real, for what is true, for what is safe. And that, above all, is the wisdom born of a life well lived. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 3. You value depth over surface-level connections. As time moves forward, you come to deeply understand the profound value of authentic relationships. In your younger years, your life may have been filled with a flurry of acquaintances, casual interactions, and social gatherings. The act of connecting, of sharing space with others, seemed to imbue your days with an energy of its own. But as the years unfold and your life gains depth, your desires evolve. The fleeting satisfaction of surface-level exchanges no longer holds the same appeal. Instead, you find yourself craving something far more substantial. A deeper, more meaningful connection that resonates with your soul. In the later stages of life, the way you engage in conversation transforms. You've experienced a wealth of joys and challenges, triumphs and heartaches. You've weathered the storms and savored the calm, accumulating wisdom along the way. The casual exchanges that once held your attention, light banter about the weather or the latest gossip, begin to feel empty and shallow. It's not that you don't still appreciate light-hearted moments. It's simply that they no longer nourish you the way they once did. These conversations skim the surface, and you long for more. Something that reaches beyond the trivial and touches the core of what it means to be human. Your time, your energy, and your presence are now treasures that you protect more fiercely. You've learned to recognize that not everyone is capable of meeting you in those deeper places where the true connection is forged. To enter these spaces requires vulnerability, curiosity, and an openness to explore life's greater questions. What is our purpose here? What have we learned along the way? How do we find meaning in the time that remains? These are the conversations you seek, those that stir your spirit and linger in your thoughts long after they've ended. They offer something more than mere exchange. They offer an exploration of life's complexities, a chance to connect on a level that transcends the mundane. Yet finding others who share your yearning for depth can be elusive. Many remain entranced by the whirlwind of everyday life, satisfied with the superficial exchanges that populate their days. They may talk at length, recounting facts and stories, and sharing opinions and advice, but rarely does the conversation reach beneath the surface to reveal the truths that lie within. The essence of who they are, their deepest fears, their greatest hopes, the lessons they've learned, is often cloaked, hidden behind a veil of politeness or routine. You can sense this resistance, the reluctance to expose vulnerability, and it deepens your longing for the kind of connection that is truly transformative. As you age, this desire for deeper connection may be further complicated by the way society tends to overlook the wisdom that comes with experience. Older voices can be dismissed, their insights trivialized, their stories cut short as if they no longer hold relevance. In these moments, you may feel unseen, as though your experiences and reflections no longer matter in the way they once did. This can be painful, especially when you know the richness that comes with the years lived, the lessons learned, and the insights gained. However, instead of giving in to bitterness, you choose to embrace a quieter wisdom. You realize that not every interaction needs to be profound, and not every conversation needs to be a deep exploration of life's mysteries. Still, you remain intentional in seeking out spaces where your voice is heard and your heart is understood. There are moments, too, when you find solace in solitude. When conversations are sparse or unfulfilling, you turn inward, finding a profound sense of connection with your thoughts. This is not loneliness, but a deep and meaningful engagement with yourself. You revisit old memories, reflect on your legacy, and contemplate the wisdom you've gathered along the way. In these moments of introspection, you discover that true depth doesn't always require the presence of others. It also resides in the intimate relationship you cultivate with your mind and spirit. Through this, you come to understand that real depth isn't solely about the connections you create with others, but also about the connection you foster within yourself. With this awareness, you navigate the later chapters of life with grace and intention, choosing your interactions carefully. You know that not everyone will meet you at the level of depth you desire, and that's okay. What matters is that you stay true to yourself, honoring your need for meaningful connection without settling for anything less. When you do find those rare, profound conversations, those encounters that feel like a meeting of souls, you are reminded of life's richness. These exchanges affirm the beauty of human connection and reassure you that even in a world that often feels hurried and superficial, there is still room for depth, substance, and conversations that truly matter. This is the wisdom that age brings. The understanding that it's not the quantity of relationships that enriches your life, but the quality. As you embrace this truth, you create space for the connections that truly sustain you. The relationships that bring you joy, understanding, and a profound sense of belonging. These connections become rare treasures, precious moments that nourish you and remind you of the richness of life. For social settings feel different as you age. As the years pass, the dynamics of social interactions inevitably shift in ways that can feel surprising or unsettling. What was once effortless, energizing, and a vital part of your daily life gradually transforms into something different. Social gatherings that used to be fun and invigorating can begin to feel overwhelming, draining, or even burdensome. The lively parties, bustling rooms filled with people, and the constant hum of overlapping conversations may now seem like too much to handle, too fast, and too loud. Social settings start to carry a different weight as you age, and this shift is not just related to the physical challenges that often accompany aging, such as hearing loss or mobility issues, though these certainly play a role. It's more about something deeper, a fundamental change in how you perceive the world, how you interact with it, and how you connect with others. At the core of this change is a growing awareness of your preferences, limits, and how your emotional and physical energy operates. In your younger years, you might have thrived in high-energy social environments. You could attend every party, engage in every conversation, and maintain a packed social calendar without feeling the weight of it. The pace of life seemed endless, and the thrill of being around people felt like a constant source of joy and stimulation. But as you grow older, you become more attuned to the subtle costs of this fast-paced social lifestyle. The constant activity and interaction that once felt like an essential part of your existence now feels like something that drains you. You begin to realize that the price of maintaining such an active social life, whether in terms of emotional energy, physical stamina, or time, is one you're no longer willing to pay so freely. It's not that you don't enjoy being around others, but the very nature of socializing in large groups begins to feel different. The noise, the crowds, the rapid exchanges of conversation, all of it can feel overwhelming. Crowded rooms, once seen as exciting or vibrant, now feel chaotic and disorienting. The clamor of voices all speaking at once, the rush of movement, and the hurried pace of interaction can leave you feeling lost in the noise. It's difficult to engage meaningfully in conversations when it's hard to hear or follow the discussion, especially when everyone is vying for attention. Even more challenging is the sense that, despite being surrounded by people, the interactions often feel fleeting, superficial, and emotionally distant. You begin to yearn for something deeper, a chance to connect with people you care about in a more meaningful way. Instead of being part of a noisy crowd, you crave smaller, quieter, and more intimate settings where you can engage with others on a more personal level, where the connections are genuine and fulfilling. This transformation in social needs is also intertwined with the emotional aspects of aging. As you grow older, life's passage often brings its share of grief and loss. You've likely said goodbye to friends, family members, and perhaps even a spouse. People who once filled the social gatherings with their warmth, humor, and unique presence. Their absence is deeply felt, particularly in group settings where their laughter, their voice, and their personality once played a key role in creating the dynamics of the gathering. Now, without them, these same spaces may evoke a sense of emptiness or longing. The memories of shared moments, their smiles, the way they made you feel connected to the world, now linger in the background, casting a bittersweet shadow over the joy of the present. These gatherings may bring you joy, but it is a joy that is inevitably tinged with a sense of loss. The reality is that socializing in the absence of those important people can stir up emotions that are difficult to process amid a crowd. The contrast between the lively environment and the grief you carry can feel overwhelming, making it harder to enjoy the moment as fully as you once did. In addition to the emotional impact of aging, there are also the unspoken expectations that come with socializing as you get older. In many social settings, there is an inherent pressure to be on, to smile, laugh, engage in conversations, and perform certain social rituals, even when you're not feeling particularly social. These expectations can feel particularly taxing when you don't have the same energy you once did. In a culture that often equates sociability with vitality and good health, the pressure to appear happy and lively can feel exhausting. It's as if there's an unspoken requirement to mask any sense of tiredness, vulnerability, or introspection in favor of being the version of yourself that is acceptable in the social context. The act of maintaining this external appearance, of being cheerful and engaged, even when you'd rather just be quiet or alone, can create a sense of dissonance. You may find yourself yearning for the freedom to simply be yourself, without the need for performance. There's an emotional toll in pretending to be on when you feel the weight of age, loss, and the passing of time bearing down on you. But it's not only the external expectations that are changing. As you age, there's an internal transformation as well. You begin to develop a heightened sense of how precious your time is. The passage of years makes you more aware of the finite nature of life, and this awareness naturally influences how you choose to spend your days. Time feels like a limited resource, and as a result, you start to reconsider how you invest your energy in social situations. Large, noisy gatherings, with their superficial interactions and emotional weight, may begin to feel like an inefficient use of time. Time that could be better spent doing things that truly bring you joy or engaging in more meaningful experiences. You start to crave the moments that are rich with substance, the experiences that offer depth and authenticity. You become more discerning about where to allocate your emotional and social energy, prioritizing connections that feel fulfilling rather than simply attending events out of a sense of obligation. This shift doesn't mean you've retreated from social life or become isolated. Quite the opposite. It signifies a deeper appreciation for the value of authentic connection. You've become more selective about how you spend your time, choosing relationships and activities that nourish you rather than drain you. You no longer feel compelled to attend every event or maintain relationships that don't serve your well-being. Instead, you focus on the interactions that genuinely matter, whether it's sharing a quiet, meaningful conversation with a friend, enjoying a peaceful moment with a family member, or listening to the stories of a grandchild. These small, intimate moments hold more value than they ever did before, and they become the focal point of your social life. This preference for smaller, more meaningful interactions is not a sign of withdrawal from the world, but rather a recognition of your needs and boundaries. You've earned the right to choose solitude when it feels restorative, to decline invitations without guilt, and to seek out spaces that make you feel safe, comfortable, and understood. It's not about rejecting connection, but about seeking out the kinds of connections that nourish you, honor your well-being, and respect your emotional and physical limits. Social settings may feel different now, but this change is a natural part of life's evolution. It reflects the fact that as you grow older, you gain a clearer understanding of what fulfills you and what doesn't. It's not a loss, but a shift in perspective, where you begin to place greater value on meaningful interactions, genuine relationships, and how you connect with others in more authentic ways. Aging brings the wisdom to prioritize your own needs without guilt or fear. This is the beauty of aging, not in losing touch with others, but in gaining a deeper connection with yourself. By doing so, you create space for the kinds of relationships and experiences that truly enrich your life, allowing you to build a social life that aligns with your values, desires, and the things that truly matter to you. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. 5. Your time feels more precious than ever as you grow older. As you grow older, time takes on a deeper, more profound significance. The ticking of the clock seems louder now, and each passing day feels more precious. Time, once an endless stretch of possibilities, becomes something more finite, fragile, and yet paradoxically more expansive in what it offers. The days no longer blend into one another as they once did. Now, each moment feels like a chapter in the story of your life, infused with the wisdom, joys, and challenges you've accumulated over the years. This heightened awareness of time profoundly shapes how you choose to spend it and, perhaps more importantly, who you choose to spend it with. It's not that you no longer value connection or the presence of others. Rather, your understanding of what those connections mean has evolved. In your younger years, it was easy to fill your calendar with an array of social engagements. The parties, the gatherings, the impromptu coffees. These interactions were part of a life overflowing with activity, a life full of possibilities. But as the years pass, the need to say yes to every invitation gradually fades. You start measuring time differently. It's no longer about doing as much as possible or maintaining appearances. Instead, it becomes about seeking what truly feels meaningful. Each decision to accept an invitation or meet someone becomes a deliberate one. Is this moment worth my time? Will it add something of value to my life, or is it merely another obligation? The need to do has softened, and in its place, the desire for authenticity has grown stronger. This shift often brings a newfound appreciation for solitude and quiet moments. It's not about rejecting the world or pulling away from others. It's about embracing the freedom to spend your time in ways that feel true to your own heart. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself, nor do you need to keep up with the whirlwind of social engagements to feel relevant or important. The external validation that once seemed so crucial has been replaced by a quieter confidence, a deeper trust in your worth. You've come to understand that your value isn't determined by how many people surround you or how much you do. It resides instead in the authenticity of your experiences, the richness of your relationships, and the peace you find within yourself. As time feels more precious, it also becomes intimately tied to your legacy, the mark you leave on the world, the people you've touched, and the ways you've made a difference. This realization often prompts a shift in how you spend your time, naturally guiding you toward those who matter most. Family, lifelong friends, and those kindred spirits who have been there through thick and thin. Superficial relationships and fleeting acquaintances lose their appeal. Instead, you choose to invest your energy in bonds that feel reciprocal, those that are grounded in mutual respect, understanding, and genuine affection. However, this more intentional approach to relationships and time doesn't always come without its challenges. You may find that some people misunderstand your choices. Your preference for selective socializing may be seen as aloofness or disinterest. Invitations may become fewer as others assume you no longer want to be involved. Yet, within yourself, you know that this is not about isolation or retreating from the world. It's about carving out space for the things that truly matter. You've earned the right to prioritize what brings you joy and fulfillment, without needing to justify it to anyone. With this shift, the quality of your interactions takes on new meaning. You begin to savor the slower, more deliberate moments, the meaningful conversations over a cup of tea, the shared laughter that echoes the memories of years gone by, or the quiet comfort of simply sitting together with someone who understands you completely. These moments, rich in their simplicity, remind you that the greatest treasures of life are often found in the smallest gestures of love and connection. Time spent with those who matter is far more valuable than the hustle and bustle of crowded events. Even in solitude, time takes on a different flavor. It becomes a space for reflection, creativity, and deep gratitude. Whether you're tending to your garden, losing yourself in a beloved book, or simply watching the sunset, these quiet moments offer a sense of peace and fulfillment that no noisy social gathering could ever provide. In these moments, you reconnect with yourself, grounding your spirit and finding contentment in the simple act of being. At this stage in life, you've learned to release the pressure to conform to societal expectations. The frantic pace of doing and achieving no longer holds the same allure. Instead, you follow the rhythm of your own heart, trusting your instincts and embracing the freedom that comes with living authentically. This shift has brought a sense of liberation, freedom to honor your own needs, nurture the relationships that matter most, and cherish the time you have left without feeling the weight of obligation or external judgment. In this context, time feels like a precious gift, a gift that allows you to live with intention. Each day becomes an opportunity to focus on what truly matters. The people you love, the experiences that bring you joy, and the peace that comes from living in alignment with your values. In a world that often glorifies busyness and constant activity, your decision to slow down and prioritize meaning becomes an act of quiet rebellion, a statement that your time is too valuable to waste on anything less than what brings you true happiness. As you move through these later years, you do so with grace and wisdom. Your worth is no longer measured by how much you do or how many people you see, but by the depth of your relationships, the peace in your heart, and the quiet joy that comes from living a life that feels deeply true to who you are. And in this, you discover one of the greatest truths of all, that when time is spent wisely and with intention, it becomes the most precious gift of all. Honoring your needs and finding a sense of balance is crucial, especially as life progresses. It's important to understand that stepping back from the constant hustle of social interaction doesn't necessarily equate to being isolated or antisocial. It often signals a deeper, more thoughtful awareness of who you are and what you truly need. You've experienced a rich, full life, and as you've evolved, you've earned the right to curate how you spend your time and to choose where and with whom you invest your energy. This is a natural and healthy part of self-care. Here are a few ways to find that delicate balance between enjoying solitude and nurturing meaningful connections with others. 1. Focus on meaningful relationships. Quality matters more than quantity. Invest time and energy in the relationships that bring you joy, fulfillment, and peace. Whether you have a few close friends, family members, or partners, deepen those bonds and cherish the authentic connections that make your life richer, even if they're fewer in number. 2. Communicate your needs openly. It's essential to express your feelings and set clear boundaries with loved ones. Let them know that you value and prioritize meaningful, one-on-one interactions over larger, more superficial gatherings. By sharing your needs and preferences, you invite understanding and respect, which can lead to more fulfilling connections. 3. Embrace and enjoy your solitude. Solitude isn't a sign of loneliness. It's a precious opportunity to reflect, rejuvenate, and rediscover what fuels your soul. Use quiet moments to engage in creative pursuits, reflect on your journey, or simply rest without guilt. Solitude can serve as fertile ground for personal growth, inner clarity, and even unexpected bursts of inspiration. 4. Stay open to new connections. While it's natural to gravitate toward a smaller social circle as time goes on, keep your heart open to new people who align with your values and passions. You may find fresh, enriching connections when least expected, and these relationships may offer new perspectives, joys, and opportunities for growth. 5. Practice self-compassion. Be gentle with yourself as you navigate the changing dynamics of your social life. Your preferences, whether for solitude or selective interaction, are entirely valid. Aging with grace means accepting and honoring what feels right for you, without guilt or apology. Self-compassion allows you to honor your own needs, trusting that your choices are the best ones for your well-being. 6. Choosing solitude in a world that often celebrates busyness and social engagement can sometimes feel like a quiet act of rebellion, but it's also a profound expression of self-respect. By listening to your own heart and honoring what you need, you're not only creating space for personal peace but also setting an empowering example for others. You're demonstrating that it's perfectly okay to prioritize inner peace, reflection, and authenticity over the external pressures of constant socializing or doing what others might expect. Now that we've explored the reasons why socializing can change as we grow older, what have you learned so far? Is there one key insight that resonates with you, something you'll bring into your own life moving forward? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please share in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave your comments, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support helps us bring more valuable content to you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.